Hello everybody, this is the second of a series of, informal talks about the permanent exhibition here at Windermere Library. From Auschwitz to Ambleside is the title of it. It's an old title. Tells the story of our 300 child Holocaust survivors who came to the Lake District in 1945, directly from the concentration camps, as Sir Ben Helfgott stresses. So yes, this panel, which formerly showed in the Manchester Jewish Museum, we helped put that exhibition together, called The Journey. This image came from the Imperial War Museum, remarkable image. On the day that the guys were to fly from Prague Airport to Crosby-on-Eden Airfield in Cumbria in the north of England, there happened to be an RAF documentary film crew, and they're actually there to film, if you can see in the background, some Spitfires and some hangars. These were a delivery of aircraft for what would be the new Czech Air Force, but also it was a huge gathering over here of dignitaries welcoming both these new aircraft and also some of the free Czech pilots who flown for the RAF during the war. But while they were waiting for this gathering to commence, the cameramen turned their attention to this group of children who were climbing aboard these, what was for a long time said to be Lancaster bombers, but actually Sterling bombers. It's a small point to many of us. If you were one of these guys, never flown before, come from a camp, the name of the Lancaster bomber became, the dominant name after the war. So easy mistake to make. These are Sterling bombers. And the RAF film crew and some photographers took the film of these people. The film resided in the Imperial War Museum archives for a long time, unidentified. I think Sir Martin Gilbert picked up on the film just a few years before we picked up on it. And because it was described as being Czech refugees waited to depart Prague. But actually, somebody looked at them and said, wait a minute, I think there's some of the boys and girls coming, the child survivors. They also took some photographs. The film is a 4-minute film, a unique footage. You could recognise many of our boys and girls in the footage. Once again, this chap here, Jack Eisenberg, carrying suitcases. Many of the boys have said basically didn't have anything in them, or if they did, minor things. These are some of the carers who were travelling with them. There's the RAF pilot. They were sort of like the Sterlings were lined up across the airfield. The boys have been waiting for quite some time to fly over. It's a long story. As you see here, even on 11th of August, the children moved from Theresienstadt, which was where they were being billeted still after the war, to Prague. You can see on the 14th, they actually set off till the 14th. So actually, there'd been bad weather for around about 2 weeks before they were due to fly over. So this operation was done in the middle of a slight weather window, if you have calm weather. However, it was still stormy enough for the children when they climbed aboard these and flew over. Many of them were sick with the turbulence. It was a really rough journey. You can see these aircraft weren't built for comfort at all. The windows are high up. They had been boarded out. They stopped being bombers for 2 or 3 years. But this squadron was a remarkable squadron. Special operations, dropping spies behind enemy lines during the war. They were involved in Operation Market Garden at Arnhem. They were also involved in the D-Day landings, towing gliders, you've seen Band of Brothers, but the British version of that, dropping paratroopers behind the lines. But they all remembered, strangely, carrying these children. And we were lucky enough to discover a certain Norman Shepherd, still alive, the last survivor of this squadron, and he was one of the aircrew that flew the guys over, and he remembers the little ones being sick in his aeroplane, and he also remembers Semi shouting at them for making a mess and how terrified they were, and he felt terrible about it, and they helped him tidy up, and then they all clung on to him. There must have been the really little ones. They clung on to him afterwards to thank him and to stop him being angry with them. That's the kind of thing that they'd obviously lived through recently. So this is a unique photograph. The Sterlings, the boys. There were 10 aircraft that flew over carrying passengers, and then another one came a day later carrying baggage and luggage, etc. that came later. The flight over was around about 7 hours, 8 hours. When you think now it's three hours or so. So this was a cumbersome journey. I'll tell you more stories about this journey later, but for now, this is about the journey from Prague to Crosby-on-Eden, now of course known as Carlisle Lake District Airport. And I'll tell you more about what happened at the airport in another episode. So take care now, speak again soon.